Greetings and salutations. So, Ranting Engineer back for, well, I guess we'll call this the summary of this series. If you've watched all these videos, now you have a kind of a fundamental understanding that there's no such thing as green energy. Everything has an energy envelope. So the summary could be, say, they're all shades of shit brown, and we need to take all these technologies and apply them in the most efficient and optimized way. That would be the easiest thing to say. However, this video series has been more about just telling you that green energy isn't green, that, again, they're shades of shit brown. It is to make you think about total energy envelope, pollution, everything related to not only technology, but things in our life. So yes, I could tell you we could optimize everything, and would that be the magical answer? No, it isn't. If you actually left energy optimization up to people like myself who understand energy, I can optimize your energy envelope. All this worry about climate change. I'm not going into climate change, but if we were to reduce our energy consumption, i.e. our pollution, our energy footprint, I would take away most of your freedoms. Now that isn't a threat, it's just scientific principle. So that leads me into the other side of this is, what is really the problem with energy use? Go look in the mirror. It's us. Our problem is we have an entitlement, almost an addiction to convenience. And you're like, convenience? Think about a bottle of water. That is probably one of the biggest scams going in the Western world. Companies like Nestle buy water for, as far as I know, it's still less than $1,000 for 1,000,000 liters of water. Turn around, put it in plastic bottles, and sell it back to us. Talk about a massive waste in resources for something that we essentially need to live. And this goes down to it. We love our stuff too much. So there's all these corporations worldwide that make stuff for us, stuff that breaks, so we buy more stuff. We're addicted to the convenience of things in plastic. So when I walk through a mall, I look around and I see energy and resources and things that are absolutely wasted. Plastic toys inside of plastic packaging. I recently bought my son an older car. It's about 20 years old. All that metal and everything, all the effort that went in to make that car, I paid $700 for him to have an old Buick. You think, great deal. No, when I look at it, there's all that energy and resource and metal and everything that goes. There's an energy envelope associated with that car. So when people come along and say, I'm going to help the environment by getting an electric car, if you've watched this series, you understand, I'm like, you're just making yourself feel good about yourself. You're doing absolutely nothing. Because all you're doing is you're now involving a whole bunch of environmental devastation effects due to mining of very special metals. You've watched this series, you understand. So my point is this. We are wasting a ton of energy. We are creating a ton of pollution because we are the problem. These big corporations overseas, wherever they're set up, are more than happy to supply all the stuff we want. Okay? Supply and demand. We demand a lot. You're feeding into our demands. We are the problem. We are wasting energy, and we are burning through resources on this planet like you wouldn't believe. That's pretty eye-opening coming from the supposedly evil oil and gas engineer that wants to exploit everything and sell it. No, we need to survive. We need to be smart about it. One, we need to quit listening to politicians. We need to quit listening to celebrities that don't know jack shit about energy. Do you need to listen to me? Yes. I'm one of many out there that understand total energy envelope, and we shake our head. So one of my friends was asking, what can we do? Well, here's a very severe example. What if everybody in North America suddenly stopped buying bottles of water and just started drinking from your tap? You'd find that the amount of bottles and plastic created would go down very quickly. The point is, the truth is, we control a lot of this by our own demands. So here's little ones. Buy yourself a fuel-efficient car. If you want to go electric, that's fine. Just don't say that you're saving the environment. Because we get enough electric cars on the road, we're going to devastate the environment due to the specialty metals in batteries, capacitance, everything. Again, if you watch the video series, you understand. So start simple. Start drinking water out of the tap. For the last 2.5 years, I have tried my best to avoid plastic bottles. It's not perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect, but I try. However, what plastic I do have, I recycle. I recycle everything. I even recycle food to composting based on basically my cousin telling me to do it. It's the right thing to do. Now, it's more than that. There's people like myself in industry going, okay, people that are in charge of recycling, these companies, you don't get a free pass to take this stuff and stick it in a landfill. You need to actually do something with it. So please recycle as much as you can. Get a fuel efficient car and start carpooling. I was in a carpool for 15 years that had 5 people. If you wanted me to, I could tell you how much gasoline all of us saved. Not just money, but the amount of CO2 equivalency that's going on. Be very aware of what people are trying to tout you as green energy. I saw on a bus the other day down south in the States on less emissions, biodiesel. Bullshit. You're still creating CO2. It's all marketing. So be wary of the marketing. Other little things. Turn down the thermostat in your house. My kids hate my place because I keep it rather cold. Try to use public transit. I, for a complete year, used public transit to get to work. My car hardly ever moved. The difficulty is, as I changed the bus routes, it's actually really difficult for me to get to work. But I still do it time to time. Yeah, it takes about 2 hours out of my day. The other one you have to remember is low energy takes effort for us. You want to help? Park the car and start walking. We got an obesity problem in North America. How about you get out and walk? Ride a bike. Again, I use a glass jar instead of plastic to drink my water. I drink water from the tap as much as I can. The things you've got to remember. What do we need actually to survive? We need water. We need regional food. Okay? Regional food. So food made locally. Because if you go back to the Cheerios example I did in the first part of this video, you look at the amount of energy it took to get basic oats from the field into Cheerios to our front door. Okay? So we got water, we've got food, and we need heat. Notice I didn't say air conditioning. That's a luxury. We need those 3 things to survive. Okay? Getting fruits from overseas, lots of energy. If I were to optimize this, guess what? The people would be going around the world in a sailboat. That little girl that was on ranting on TV, she doesn't influence me whatsoever, but she did say one thing that I agreed with. We need to travel less. That's going to piss people off. But no. The more we travel, the more energy we use. Airplanes, ships. The problem is, as people, once again, we are entitled to convenience. And I want you to think about that phrase. We are entitled to convenience. We conveniently get things in plastic. We conveniently run around the planet on an airplane. I'm one of these people that do it too. But I'm doing less of it. I'm conscious of this. So we need to take the resources that we have inside of Canada and do them best as possible. However, overseas right now, we've got economies that don't give a shit about the environment. I'm sorry, that's the stark thing. I've been overseas. That are feeding our demands. So think about that. We want to go low energy. We need to quit buying stuff and we need to be more content with our lives. That is a fundamental shift that no government can tax us into. It's up to us to think about how we use energy, where it comes from, to be content, to not be happy with using plastic all the time, use materials that can be reused, take the time and effort to recycle. You get the point now? So this ends this video series. I was going to get a couple others, but there, it wraps it all up. It's a long rant, but go through this series and now apply energy envelope to you and your lives. Look at everything around. Think about pollution. Think about resources. I'll give you a simple one. Where do you think titanium was mostly used on this planet? It's to paint on our walls. You probably didn't know that. Do your research. Think for yourselves. And find a geek like myself that can give you information about energy, resources, pollution, what's going on out there. And don't listen to people in media that much because a lot of them are completely full of shit. Anyways, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Hopefully you learned something. You can always feel free to email me directly. I'm Vining Wolf. I'm the Ranting Engineer. Have a good one. Bye.